What is good? What is good? What is Gucci? Courtney IG, and I'm back again. This time to discuss the latest release from Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3, The Chosen. So this has to be one of the longest waits ever since a previous project. I mean, his last one in the series, Man in the Moon 2, came out 10 years ago, and the original Man on the Moon 1 came out 11 years ago. So unless you know of something else which is longer, I cannot think of one off the top of my head where I've had to wait so long for the follow-up. So when we look back at the previous projects, guys, the first one is undoubtedly a classic. I mean, for the hip-hop experimental, eccentric left field sounds, I can't really think of anyone else who was doing that or has done something to that level. You had Day and Night, which I was just listening to. You had Cudi Zone. You had Soundtrack to My Life. I mean, there's so much more that I can't even think of, and that's just to name a few. If we look at Man on the Moon 2, that one didn't catch me, and neither did a lot of the projects that he dropped after that. I mean, there weren't many, but like with the exception of the 2013, Indie Could project, which had, some cool moments like Just Why I Am, King Wizard. I just wasn't feeling Cudi, and I think that's when I kind of went off of him a bit and I stopped checking for his music because it got a bit too experimental. It got a bit too, a bit down in the dumps. It got a bit too left field for me. It was like, I don't know what this is. This is so far from hip hop that I'm just not feeling it anymore. I'm not with it. Maybe there are some gems in those projects that I need to be put on to. Tell me, guys, right in the comments. But yeah, for me, that was when I went off him. In terms of this project, it came to my attention out of nowhere pretty much. I mean, I was just scanning for releases, upcoming releases as I do, see what's coming up on the radar, and I saw, boom, hey, Cudi's dropping an album, Man on the Moon 3. And I was like, rah, that's a big project to go back to. That's like when Lil Wayne touches on a Carter, for example, or, if Drake was to touch on a Take Care. These are like pivotal projects in their catalog. So for you to retouch them, you got to come with something. So, I had already been, let's say, warmed up to Cudi based on what he did with Kanye West, with the Kid Cudi Ghost project, which to my eyes and to my ears more so, this was a modern day masterpiece. I mean, it was abrasive, it was emotionally open, it was just short and sweet. I mean, it wasn't many tracks, but that didn't matter because I feel like they both came together in unison. They both came together so well, and they were both in the same space in terms of going through a lot emotionally, going through a lot, mentally, going through a lot spiritually. It feels like, with songs like Reborn, with songs like, Fourth Dimension, with songs like, I mean, I can't even think of the songs off the top of my head, but Reborn is one that sticks. And Feel the Love. I think it's called Feel the Love, the first one. Like, I can still feel the love. I mean, like, that energy was just like, wow, this is something different. So then I was like, okay, I want to hear the creativity that Cudi's coming into on this. So let's get into it. So I wasn't really expecting Cudi to come sounding like a generic trap rapper. And that's what we get on the first 5 tracks. And it wasn't until the 115-ish mark of Dive where I thought, okay, this is something a bit more Cudi-like. This is something a bit more, moody. This is something where he's a bit stretching his vocals out, crooning. But even that sounds like a rough freestyle to me. And he didn't really have much to say. Like the first 5 tracks, listen to them and tell me what he's talking about. Tell me what he's talking about. What does he tell you? What do you get from those tracks? because I got absolutely jack all, to be honest. I mean, and we continue in a similar vein with so many forgettable moments like Damaged, Heaven on Earth, before the gruesome segment of Pop Smoke and Skepta, Big Smoke, you know, on Show Out. Now, that song would have been Grease if it was Skepta, Pop Smoke, no Cudi, because I don't understand what Cudi was doing there. It's like they just meshed two songs into one, and it doesn't work like Gatty, because I think that was probably what he got the idea from, you know, Travis and Pop Smoke. That Gatty tune worked, but here, don't work. So that's a minus. Minus Cudi on that, banger, because Skepta and Pop Smoke, rest in peace Pop Smoke, Grease. So, like, as you go more into it, you start to pick up, well, I started to pick up, Cudi sounds confused here. He sounds like when he made this, he was conflicted on what audience he wanted to go to. Did he want to deliver for a new school audience? Did he want to deliver for his old core fan base? And it just makes a mess of the project in the first 9-10 tracks. And, you know, given the title, I was expecting something which would be artistically different to everything on the market nowadays. Like, and that ain't what I got. Like, this, in my head, based on the title, should translate to less 808s on Side People and more trademark moments that take you deep into his yearning for love, deep into his pain, his struggle, his, you know, mind state, like on Reborn, for example, which I said earlier, and the coldness, like what he does in the storytelling of, you know, Elise's baby boy, September 16th, Loving Me. That's an excellent feature there. Like, those are the standouts from the album for me. Those are the moments that, as Cudi fans, I feel like you guys want to hear. I don't feel like you want to hear Cudi and Pop Smoke and Skepta just creating a track which just doesn't work, and him doing this rap trap freestyle stuff, which could be Migos, it could be, I don't know, Jack Harlow, it could be any rapper on the radio today. It's like, what is this? Nah, that's not what I want. So to conclude, guys, Cudi very much is the king of crooning. There's no question. Party Next Door, Drake, all of you, man, sit aside. Cudi got this thing. He got the humming thing on lock. Travis, sit down. But it's like the atmospheric, moody stuff gets overshadowed by some lazy track production. I'm not feeling it for Cudi anyway. And some bars that just don't sit well with him. Maybe he should have gave them to somebody else to deliver. But boy, the turnaround in the second half, Liverpool, AC Milan, Champions League final. Remember that one, that's for the football people. Like, he comes back in the second half strong. Like, from track 10 onwards, you know, from Side People, even though it's a bit lukewarm, it starts to warm up there, and that's where it gets better. Like, that's where it sounds trademark. That's where it sounds like a Cudi project. That's where it doesn't sound generic. And it's like, yeah, as I mentioned above, like, there ain't that many standout moments. I came out with like 5 tracks that I like overall. The top 3 I've just mentioned, but there was like 5 overall that I liked. The rest, I ain't gonna be playing those again. Maybe they'll grow on me, but for now, no. First time listen, no, wasn't doing it. So yeah, Lord I Know, I think is the only rap moment that I like. And I think that's because it still sounds Cudi. It doesn't sound generic Migos or anyone else on the radio. So in terms of the rating, guys, I'm going to say I'm not even going to say a 6. I'm going to say a 5 out of 10. For his standards, for that bar, you see what's up there on my wall? That's where I wanted him to take me. But that ain't where he went. It was trash. Overall, it was not good. Not good. Trash overall, yeah. I'm going to say it was trash. 5 out of 10. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Inspire, enrich, yeah.